14, day 5, page 86, developingcharacter.org. Coaching to Change Lives at gmail.com. 580-212-7752. My wife worries so much. She does the taping. She worries so much about the background. And I told her, I said, it's a tough subject you got to deal with. I actually have a radio face. I had a guy actually tell Bill Mercer, who did the North Texas show, always told me that, and I've stolen that from him. The quality this week that we've dealt with is tolerance. I want to tell you one final story on developing tolerance. I taught this class in Arizona to a group of high school students, and not just the football team. We did it to the football team the first year I was there, and the principal came to me and said, we need to do this to more than the football team. We have some other students that need this character education. I said, okay, let's do it. So I did it, and I had 2 classes in character education, taught it 45, 50 minutes a day. And so the first 18 weeks of the year, I did exactly what I'm doing here. And then the second 18 weeks, I said, okay, there's 18 qualities left. Pick one, because you're going to teach it. You can use my story, or you can use somebody else's story, or you can do whatever you want to do. But you're going to teach it. And so the students taught it the second semester. They picked a quality out of the 18 that were left and did a whole lot better job than I ever would have done. But I had one student that was unbelievable. And what he did, he picked the quality of tolerance. And the first day, he did a story. And he did it real quickly. I mean, just almost 5 minutes he was through with it, or 10 minutes. What do y'all think about that? And they all talked about a little bit this and this, and he said, okay, here's what you're going to do this week. Everybody in here has got to sit with someone in the cafeteria this week that you know nothing about. Mesa High School is a very diverse school. We had the African Americans, we had the South Sea Islanders, we had Hispanic, we had the white, we had the Mormons, we had the Catholics, we had the Baptists, we had the atheists, we had the athletic, the non-athletic, we had the artistic. I mean, we had a little bit of everything. And so they had to tell him which group they were going to sit with. And he went around the room and he said, okay, who are you going to sit with? And a couple of the athletes said, I'm going to sit with band members or choir members. And a couple of the Mormons said, I'm going to sit with some Muslims. But anyway, they all decided on somebody different that they were going to sit with. And then Friday, or as the week went on, they had to come in and make a report. And he gave them a day. He said, okay, Mary, now tomorrow you'll report. You'll make your report on you sit with whoever you sit with, and you make the report. Okay, so we had reports every day. Do you know what the consensus was on Friday? The final consensus, because the young man that led the lesson, he said, okay, and he got up on the whiteboard and he said, now let's write down what our consensus is. What did we learn this week? You know what the one thing they learned was? There wasn't any difference. The Mormon kids said the Muslim kids talk about the same thing we do. They talk about girls, classes, school. There's no difference. They're exactly like us. The athlete said, that's what we... Anyway, everybody had sat with different people, but they all found out we're all the same. We have the same interests. We have the same likes. We have the same dislikes. And some of them said, you know what? Some of those guys could really be friends to me. Do you think he did a good job of teaching tolerance? Why do you think? How do you think he did it? it was not a theoretical, let's get it, it's like the Maverick booster. Was that theory? No, that was practicality. He actually did it. Pee Wee Reese walking across the field. Theoretically, Pee Wee Reese could say, yes, I'm not prejudiced at all. I am totally tolerant. I have no prejudice in me at all. He didn't say that. He walked across the field. These kids sat with other people. Now, the second thing they learned is they weren't welcome at first. The people that they went to sit with were as intolerant of them as they were of the ones they sat with. And most of them had to tell them that we have to do this for our class before they were allowed to sit. So when they met with the intolerance of these people, it made them realize these people are prejudging me because I'm Mormon, because I'm African American, because I'm an athlete, because I'm not an athlete. They're prejudging me. And so the only way they could sit with in some instances, I have to do this for a class. And they go, oh, okay. Who you got? Parker? Yeah, okay. And so they sat down. But by the end of the week, they understood. You think those kids, and I think there were 22 in that class. What do you think they gained? They gained tolerance. They didn't prejudge anybody from then on. And when you talk to them about, and you could say things, they'd say, Coach, don't prejudge. It doesn't matter. And it's true. That's exactly right. Don't prejudge anybody until you get to know them. What's the old Indian saying? Don't judge a man until you walked a mile in his moccasins. Isn't that the truth? Don't prejudge someone until you've been there. How did you do this week? What did you learn? Well, I hope you learned that tolerance equals intelligence. Intelligence equals tolerance. If you're not tolerant of someone, it's because you don't know someone. Go find out. Go talk to them. Become tolerant. I hope you figure that out. What's the one word you can put with tolerance that will make you remember? How about stick of wood? How about Jackie Robinson? How about Pratt, Carlisle Indian Institute? You got to find that phrase that when somebody says it to you, you go, okay, I got you. Stick of wood. Adopt a MAV, whatever it might be. How'd you do on your goals this week? Purpose driven, you write goals for the week. Commitments, you make a plan for them. And then you write a plus or a minus every day to develop one quality, and that quality is responsibility. As the young man told me, the problem with responsibility, Coach, is nobody's got it today. We don't have any role models. The politicians have no responsibility. It's the other party's fault. It's not our fault. It's the referee's fault. It's my parents' fault. It's the color of my skin's fault. It's the way I was raised fault. It's the socioeconomics. Accept responsibility. As the young man told me, this generation, your generation, you young people out there don't have any role models, or very few. Are you going to continue that? Or are you going to change that? You're not going to change it unless you accept responsibility for who you are, where you are, and what you are, so that your children will develop the quality of responsibility. Are you responsible for the 3 things you wrote down? Yes. Can I depend on you to do that? Is your dependability quality 1 or a 10? Figure that out. It's been a great week. It's going to be a better week next week. Every week you add a brick to the new you. And the new you is a better you because you're going to develop these qualities. And once you develop these qualities, you're going to be a better person. I look forward to that. See you next week.